Morse. Oh my gosh, Lainey. I know that this might be on the minds of some folks out there today. Goat yoga. Okay. Now, you explained it a little in the film, but what exactly is goat yoga?
Well, I get asked that question a lot. And, it's really just getting out in nature and bonding with an animal and getting a little exercise. And I say it's part yoga, part animal-assisted therapy. And I think it's catching on.
I think it's catching on when I text you a year or so ago, and the Country Music Awards, Carrie Underwood is doing goat yoga, and it's like, Lainey! And every time goat yoga pops up around the world or on television or in a movie, Lainey, she goes, I know. Yeah, I know. So it just literally, in our conversations, you said literally overnight, it blew up. What do you mean by that, and how did you handle that?
It's a little more difficult than it seems. It was a time in my life where it was a mess. I had just gotten a divorce. I was diagnosed, actually misdiagnosed with Sjogren's. I actually have rheumatoid arthritis. But I was going through these physical changes. I used to be a runner. Did half marathons all the time, and all of a sudden I can't even do my hair anymore because it hurt too bad to lift my head up to do a straightener, or I couldn't make it out to the barn to feed the goats, and I'd have to have friends come over and help me, and I just thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And goat yoga exploded at this time, and I was begging my doctor to put me on steroids to get me through media interviews. I was doing like 30 or 40 a day. New York Times was coming out, and People magazine. I mean, it was the best thing in the world, but yet I was struggling so bad. And it was the happy distractions in my life that made it bearable, and it went viral and changed my life, and it's been amazing.
I love it. You did a goat yoga happy hour for us, and the women that went with me to that, we had never had so much fun in our lives. And how did you, and I know this is a pun on words, but how did you raise such good little kids? And they love being with us and would love us and just run around and jump and frolic. And are goats naturally that way, or did you have a hand in that?
Well, you raise things and you love them, and every day, just like it said in that video, I would come home from my corporate job and I would just go out in the barn and spend time with the goats. And what it did, it distracted me from stress, from illness. It was impossible to think about anything else when I was around them. And I thought, this is really what it's all about, it's finding that happy distraction that gets you out of your own head. And for those of you who've suffered, tragedy, which I'm sure we all have, it's really easy to get into your own head and spiral into this, depression. And it was because of my goats that it made it easy for me to just smile every day, even though sometimes I couldn't even get out of bed, or it was just, changing my clothes was just the hardest thing in the world. And I just thought, my life is over. And then something like this happens, and you're like, well, I better get healthy real quick because, I have to make this happen. And I think when you have your health taken away, you have a crazy tenacity to make something happen. And that's the product of goat yoga. And it's a brand that makes people happy. People just look at the logo and they say, what is that? Or tell me about that. And, it's about making people happy and smile. And so that's what my focus is today.
So you have the farm here in Oregon, but Where are some of your other satellite goat yoga? Is that, how do I say that?
They're satellite locations, and that happened because I was banned from doing goat yoga by our state, and it's not allowed in the zoning that I live in. And so after I quit my job of 10 years to make this happen, I thought, oh shit, what am I going to do now? And so I thought, well, I'll partner with other people who have goats and cool destinations, and they'll do the classes for me. I'll do the back-end marketing, social media, the stuff that I enjoy and that I know I'm good at, and we'll make people happy together. And so now we have 16 locations all over the USA, and we're in talks right now with someone from New Zealand, Colombia, Ireland, to start goat yoga there too. So we're hoping it'll be an international endeavor soon.
This is so exciting that you, and I know this isn't the exciting part, that you've been banned, because you started this outside the Albany area, and it was just fine, and you found this beautiful property and moved to this, oh my gosh, it looks like out of a storybook, farm and land, and then they said, goats? No.
Yep.
Why goats no, horses yes?
That's a good question. I did move to a new farm. Now I live in Monroe. And I knew I wouldn't be able to do goat yoga there, but I thought maybe I can change the law. And so we've met with our senator, and she's on board to help us change the wording to a bill. Instead of equine therapy, it'll be livestock therapy, because they do allow equine therapy farms in our zoning. So we're fingers crossed hoping, and so that we can open our farm and, you know, make it a therapy farm, which I'm dreaming of. And so it might not only be goat yoga, it could be goat happy hour too, for those of you who don't like yoga.
You know, there is hope, and I believe anything is possible. And today we heard of a dream with conviction to become the next congresswoman in this state. Right now, she just has a little job running like schools and, you know, different things like that. But you'll want to connect with Melissa, so that'd be great. Huh, Melissa? This could, you. All right. So you alluded to it a few questions back, but what's your advice for other people that are going through hard times in their life?
You know, it's really difficult when you are going through a hard time to stay out of your head, and I guess that's the best way to put it, because, you know, that voice in your head that's just saying, what if you're never going to make it? What if you're never going to get well? Well, you have to disconnect from that, and you have to find your happy distraction. And for me, it's the goats, it's my dogs, it's my pigs, it's my farm, it's nature, and it's connecting with that every single day. And so you need to find what you connect with, get out of your head, and know that things can change on a dime. And so, and I'm living proof of this. It was, you know, it's just been it's only been 3 years since this happened. And since then, you know, we have talks to have a reality TV show. We're meeting with a licensing agent to, you know, start licensing to the brand for apparel and books and who knows what. So it's just, no dream is too big. And and buy my book.
Speaking of books, I bought this book for a friend of mine. It is delightful. I love this little goat yoga book. You also have a booth out here, don't you? If people want to know more
and so
about
the
goat
person
yoga?
that the goat was licking the head of is out there selling the goat yoga swag.
I love it. So, a worldwide phenomena in less than 3 years. Anything truly is possible. We have time for one burning question from the audience, and then the rest of your questions at the break. She'd love to talk with you. So does anyone have a burning question about goat yoga for the International Goat Yoga Queen?
Your health problems, oh, that's loud. Was it the yoga that helped you move past that and get into better health?
Honestly, no. It was the goats. You know, I went through a misdiagnosis. They told me I had Sjogren's, and so I was on a chemo drug for 3 years and not really progressing and getting better. And just a few months ago, I found out I had a rheumatoid arthritis, and so they put me on some new medicine, and today I feel like I have my life back. I don't really feel anything that I felt back then, and it's really been a blessing. So I just got my physical health back, and so I haven't really been exercising. But I feel now that I can start walking and start walking faster and then maybe running again. And that's kind of my first love, even though goat yoga is my love too. But I want to be a runner again.
For those of you who want to know more about Lainey's journey, goat yoga, her book, where she's going to next, because there are a lot of wonderful things in the work, please connect with her and you'll be here all day, right?
I will.
Ladies, give it up for Lainey Morse.